Hey grade 7s, today we are going to revise factorization and equivalent fractions. Let's get going. Let's start with the definition of factorization, what it means to factorize. So to factorize means to write a number as a product of its prime factors. Remember, that means that if I take any number, I can break it down into prime numbers and multiply the prime numbers together and get any number, just depending on the combination that I use to multiply them together with. So let's see, to factorize means to write a number as the product of its prime factors. Now remember, the prime factors are when I write out the factors of a number and I find the prime numbers that are in that list, those are the prime factors. Now I have two methods that I can use to determine the prime factors of a number, the tree method and the ladder method. Let's have a look at those two methods. The first method, being the tree method, is one that you know already. I can say 120, if I start with 120, I can say what times what is going to give me 120. So let's do a nice easy one. Let's say 10 times 12. Alright, now 10 is not a prime factor, neither is 12. So that means I can break up 10. Now remember, when I break up 10 into factors, I'm not going to use 1 and 10 because that's not going to change anything. So 10 I know is going to be 2 times 5. Alright, now 2 is a prime number, and as soon as I write a prime number down, I circle it, then I know that that is a prime factor and I've reached the end of this branch. 5 is also a prime number, so I can circle 5 as well. 6 I know is going to be 3 times 4, for example. 3 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. 4 is not a prime number, that means I can factorize it even further. So if I factorize 4, 4 is 2 times 2. And the 2's are both prime numbers. Okay, so now I've ended each branch with a prime number. And so now I can write down 120 as a product of its prime factors. Now, the prime factors are 2, 3, and 5. But I have to go and have a look at how many of each there are. So if I have a look at the 2's, I can count 1, 2, 3 2's. So that's going to be 2 to the power of 3 times, I've got 1, 3, remember we list them in order of size from small to big, and I have 1, 5. Alright, so let's see if that's true. Let's see if that actually works out to be 120. If I say 5 times 3, that's 15, and then there are 3 2's that I've got to multiply, so I've got to double it 3 times. So 5 times 3 is 15. If I double 15, I get 30. If I double 30, I get 60, and if I double 60, I'm going to get 120, so that is correct. Right, now let's have a look at the tree method. Not the tree method, the ladder method. The ladder method is the method that we prefer. So we draw a ladder and we write 120 on the right, and then I make a list of my prime numbers so that I can check what numbers I can divide my numbers on my ladder by. So my prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. Those are my first 5 prime numbers, so let's use those. So I check, I say 120. Can I say 120 divided by 2? Yes, I can. So I write my 2 on the left hand side of my ladder. Then I say 120 divided by 2 is 60, and I write the 60 under the 120. Then I go and check, can I say 60 divided by 2? Yes, I can. So I write a 2 on the left hand side of my ladder. 60 divided by 2 is 30. So the 30 goes under the 60 on the right. I check again. Can I say 30 divided by 2? Yes, I can. So I write the 2 on the left. 30 divided by 2 is 15. Can I say 15 divided by 2? No, I can't. So I move on down my list to my next prime number. Can I say 15 divided by 3? Yes, I can. So I write a 3 on the left hand side of my ladder. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Can I say 5 divided by 2? No, I can't. Can I say 5 divided by 3? No, I can't. Can I say 5 divided by 5? Yes, I can. So I write a 5 on the left-hand side of my ladder. 5 divided by 5 is 1. When I reach 1, I've reached the bottom of my ladder and I stop. Now I have all my prime factors listed in order on the left-hand side of my ladder. So 120 equals 1, 2, 3 2's, so that's 2 to the power of 3 times 3 times 5. And if you look at our two factorizations, they are exactly the same. And so that is factorization. The question will say write a certain number as a product of its prime factors or factorize 120. Alright, then our next section that we did was equivalent fractions. This is going to become very important in this next section that we're going to start working with. So, I have a look at my fraction, I have a look at my new denominator. How did I get from 5 to 20? To get from 5 to 20, I'm only allowed to multiply or divide. So I'm going to say times by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Now, if I multiply by 4 at the bottom, I have to multiply by 4 at the top. And 4 times 4 is 16. Let's have a look at the second example. I have 24 over 66, and I've got to go to something that has a 4 over the top. So, how do I get from 24 to 4? Well, my numbers become smaller, so I can't multiply. I'm going to have to divide. 24 divided by 6 is going to give me 4. What I do at the top, I have to do at the bottom. So 66 divided by 6 is 11. And that is how we determine equivalent fractions.